everyone, a very warm evening to all of you. I welcome you all to my platform, Let's Social. This is a one-stop destination for understanding social sciences in a way which you might have not heard or studied before. This is a page I started off with the motive of explaining you this subject not just with the vision of gaining marks or just to have a good position in your class, but to understand this subject in a way that is just not limited to cramming, but understanding it in detail with a clear vision about our history, about our polity as well as our society. And this is the first series I'm beginning on this page, and this series is all about understanding important historical terms specifically. Okay, so this is not just limited for school going students. Even if you're preparing for any exams which has history in it, or maybe any other exam which has polity or political science or geography in it, so it can be a quick revision for you, especially if you have MCQs or you have vivas, or you might have some interview which covers all these topics. So it can be a quick revision for you, and you just need to go through it. You can download it anytime and you can listen to it anywhere, so it's very convenient, it's very easy, and I will try to keep it as short and concise as possible for your better and furnished understanding, so that it's just not limited to cramming it, but understanding its deep meaning. And I also try to impart as much correct information as I can, and I would like all of you to kindly click on the follow button mentioned above. It would be great support to my channel, because it's just a small step towards a better future for all of us. So let's begin. So the word is Palaeolithic age. Okay, so the word Palaeolithic age, if you want to just crack it, I always say that if you're reading history and if you do not understand anything, try to crack that word if possible, or if it has a prerequisite meaning. So the word paleo means old and lithos means stone. Okay, so this word is derived from the language Greek. There is a country named Greece which is located in Europe. It's a European country, a very very old country, and as we move forward with the chapters, we would be learning about Greek civilization's impact in India, and also we would be specifically studying about Greek civilization as well. So Greek was one of the oldest languages ever to exist, along with Latin and Sanskrit and other languages as well. But this language was very primitive in its way, and it's very old also. Okay, so the word paleo means old and lithos means stone. Now you would be just confused at what does it mean. Okay, we understood the meaning, but what does it signify in history? So there is an age in history which is a stone age. Particularly in the stone age, the man evolved from apes. If you know that a very classic theory of evolution is present, that man evolved from apes. How the evolution took place, that first of all the apes used to walk with the help of their hands, then slowly and steadily they used to walk upright like today, and this term is known as Homo sapiens. We all are Homo sapiens, and it is basically the evolved form of apes particularly. And in this age, the Paleolithic age, the man was evolving until and unless it became Homo sapiens, which is us. We can say that all people around us are Homo sapiens. So we are also the evolved version of apes, and we are still evolving as well. Okay, first thing. Second thing is that Stone Age is very important in the perspective of understanding the later civilizations. And the Stone Age is further categorized into three stages: Paleolithic, Mesolithic and Neolithic. Now, if you want to understand and remember these names, I will give you a very short and important trick. Paleolithic, you can understand that Paleolithic was the oldest. So there is a word called as primitive. Primitive means very old, or it can also be compared with the word conservative. It can be a synonym of conservative as well. So Paleolithic means primitive, PP. So you can just say the first letter. Then the Mesolithic is basically the middle age of the Stone Age. It is in the middle. So M for middle, M for Mesolithic. So you can compare the M words. And the last and the final stage is the Neolithic age. Neo, the first letter of Neo is N. N for new. So it is basically a new age, which was the cradle for later civilizations. Okay. Now, Paleolithic age was one of the longest serving period in our Stone Age. And Paleolithic age is further divided into three subparts, which we'll be studying in the later slide. I will be covering another video on it. But first of all, I will be giving you a brief introduction about Paleolithic age itself. Okay, so Paleolithic age was that time when we had various important discoveries. One of them was the discovery of fire. So there is a theory about it, which is a very famous theory, that first of all you need to understand this thing, that early humans used to survive and used to feed on animals specifically, but also they used to be gatherers. That means they used to gather roots, plants or seeds. And killing animals, especially if you're killing some animal like deer, it's not easy because they're very thick skinned. So specifically if you will say that randomly you will kill it and you will be able to just feed on it, it's not possible. So you need some sharp stones. So it was a time when the concept of stones was very much present. So we had some of the sites known as factory sites, in which stones were converted into tools. So generally stones were used as tools, but also sometimes the remnants means remains, जो चीज़ बची हुई होती है, the remnants of the bones of dead animals was also used. So it was that time when most of them were nomads. Nomads means banjara, which moved from place to place. Okay, so in modern day you can also find nomads, like in interior and very old societies of Rajasthan, you can still find nomads which move from one place to another. And if you move to the other side of border, specifically in the places surrounding the Indian Rajasthan region, that of Pakistan, I mean to say, all the Pakistani region which are very near to Rajasthan also have various nomadic tribes. So So in local language we say them Banjara. And this concept is not new, this is way old. You can say this concept is million years old, that of Paleolithic age, when most of them were nomads. They used to travel from one place to another, and most of them used to travel in a groups. Why? It was much safer, because there used to be conditions like that of drought, famines, attacks by animals, maybe some attacked by some foreign groups also. Although foreign groups was very rare to attack, but still for a safety side it was better that they used to travel in groups. So this was a prehistoric era, as it is completely mentioned in the slide, and it was distinguished by the development of the most primitive stone tools yet discovered, and covers roughly 99% of human technological prehistory. So for them, if we say today, like the cyber development or the development of artificial intelligence, the development of ChatGPT, the development of technology is something which we refer to as the modern day technology. Like we are talking about semiconductors, we are talking about how we can go with green fuel. So it's a very, although it's not an exactly new concept, but it's a evolving concept. Similarly for them, this idea of using tools, the idea of developing tools was somehow a prehistoric development, and it was a prehistoric kind of evolving process specifically. And during the Paleolithic age, it was the time when specifically the use of tools was mostly there. So slowly and steadily, the early humans also understood that going from one place to another was also not a very good idea, since it was very difficult, particularly in the regions. As we have seen in Paleolithic age, okay, one thing I need to mention, I think I went a little faster. Most of the Paleolithic sites that we have discovered are in Chota Nagpur Plateau, which is the modern day Jharkhand region. Then we have found in Deccan Plateau, which is the modern day Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, specifically Madhya Pradesh, lesser portion of Maharashtra, and also some regions of the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region in Pakistan. So these regions had extreme weather conditions. Like if you go to Madhya Pradesh, it has extreme weather conditions. So traveling from one place to another was also a very difficult task specifically. So they preferred that they stayed at one place, and then the idea of wheel, the idea of fire, which developed in the later Paleolithic age, was there. Secondly, they got very comfortable with the idea of farming. Then they also thought, although it is very much later in history, that the barter system was also not a very efficient system. So they developed the idea of money, they developed the idea of trade, they developed the idea of art and craft, and setting up societies, setting up civilizations, which we will see in later chapters and later terms, which is the Indus Valley civilization. So they settled around the river specifically. If you see, like if I talk about the primitive sites of the Paleolithic age, most of them settled around the river Narmada. And if I talk about the Harappan civilization, which is very much later in history, it was near river Indus. And also we have seen many Paleolithic sites which were near river Ganga and its tributaries. So we will be understanding it in process, that Paleolithic age, since it was one of the longest period in Stone Age. So we have a lot to cover in this, but I will be giving you just a brief, you can say, subtopics about it, and we would be later discussing it in the further videos. Okay. During the Paleolithic, humans grouped together in small societies such as bands and sustained by gathering plants and hunting or scavenging wild animals. So I already mentioned you this, that what were their general behavior in eating, what were the nature of jobs, like they used to be nomads, they used to be hunter and gatherers. And what is the meaning of scavenging? So scavenging is feeding on dead creatures. Like we have scavengers. Scavengers is a term used for animals which feed on dead animals. It's basically a dietary terms which we use in biology very, very often. So, I think these three points are very enough in a slide to mention what was Paleolithic age. And, we will always be covering some other portions also. And one more term I would like to add in this, which you can just note down, that the meaning of sites. I mentioned the word site. So, site can be any place in history where you can find some important fossils. Now, what is fossils? Fossils are the remains of dead animals or human beings, which and also including plants, seeds or leaves, which can be found on the ground, and because of the wear and tear and constant erosion and constant droughts, famines, and changing demographic conditions, they're mostly dug under the soil. So basically that thing we refer to as site. Whenever some remains are found under the soil, they can also be some artifacts as well, some tools as well. So we all cover them in fossil. And there are two types of sites which we refer, which is factory sites. Factory sites in Paleolithic age means the sites where tools were basically made with the help of some bones or maybe some stones. And habitation from factory site means where the stones were also made, but they had their habitat also. Now what does habitat means? Habitat means any place where people live. Okay, habitat can vary from creature to creature. For example, the habitat of any aquatic animal would be river, sea, ocean. The habitat of any amphibian like frog would be land or water. Similarly, the habitat of any human being would be land. So that's the meaning of habitat. So I think I have covered mostly all important topics, but I would be covering further important points and important sub-definitions in later videos. Till then, you can just go through the slides, and if you have any doubt, you can just post in my DM. I would be really helpful to you. Just in case if you have exams, I can give you some tips how to frame your answers, and I would be really happy if you pose any question regarding this slide or maybe topics revolving around it. Till then, thank you so much.